Good graphic.
Hey, thank you.
Iowa Fireworks Farm is Iowa's largest fireworks store. 6,000 square feet of hand-picked fireworks, over 50 brands and 1,300 different products to choose from. But they're also family-owned and operated. Iowa Fireworks Farm is the one stop you need to make before July 4th. You'll find them just south of the metro. Take I-35 to exit 43 at New Virginia. Head east and look for the big red barn. At Iowa Fireworks Farm, the toughest part will be deciding what not to buy.
Eric Church Free the Machine Tour. Live at Wells Fargo Arena, Saturday, September 27th. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss with special guest Marcus King Band. Get tickets now at highvtix.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. For more, visit ericchurch.com.
Join us for the Murphy and Andy Patio Tour every Friday, wrapping up this week at the Big Grove Brewery Des Moines Tap Room. Great beer, fantastic food, and your last chance to get in on the fun. The party starts at 1 this Friday at Big Grove Brewery's Des Moines Tap Room with Murph and Andy and Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
Murph and Andy on a Monday. Hello, Andy. Hi,
Hello,
AD.
Murph.
Yeah, good to have everybody here. We'll get to more of this in the buzz in just a second, but it has just been confirmed that Tyrese Haliburton did tear his Achilles tendon. I don't think that will surprise a single person who watched the 37 replays on ESPN. You could see it.
No, and it seemed like that was everybody's diagnosis right off the bat, and so we've all kind of prepared ourselves for what comes next and how long a recovery this is potentially.
It's a rough one.
We've moved into it already, and it's not a good place to be.
I want to start with something that is a better place to be, and that's just memories of Little League, and I have a reason for bringing this up. We all remember Little League photos. I won't take you way back to my old days. That's probably too far back, but Little League photos, they were a big deal. Like this is, what would this be? This would be 15 years or so ago. That's Colin. And he's, you got the bat up there. You're posing, big smile on your face. You're happy. Now we have envelopes full of photos like this and class pictures that will never see the light of day, that are not on any walls anywhere, and that we spent a small fortune on over the years. But that's what you do, right? So let's have another example, AD. Who else do you have here? All right, this... Who is this?
That's me.
That's you?
Yeah, I think I'm 9 there, 9 or 10. Yeah, right.
Who's your
what
team?
team you playing for?
The Colts.
Of course, yeah.
Playing for the Colts, yeah.
Not the Colt 45s, just the Colts.
Kirkwood Little League there.
Oh,
yeah,
look,
that's right.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
there we go.
There's the whole team picture. And this is a happy group. Now, sometimes even at the Little League level, you get the mean mugging.
Yeah,
but these guys are smiling.
That became a thing, but I think at this point we're still too little to get into any sort of tough guy look.
Bears.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was it's funny looking back at this stuff. Man,
this is great. Couple of things jump out to me right now.
Yeah.
On the left of the screen, hey, thank you, Coach, for letting us know you are the coach. and what a glorious mustache there. Then in the middle here with the sunglasses, we've got the guy with the everywhere in the 70s, early 80s Adidas shirt. Just that huge logo.
That's Mr. Siorik. He was a cop and a great dad, and he had 4 boys, and that's his son Mark in the lower left-hand corner. Mark was a really good goaltender in hockey. And so was his older son, Matt. Yeah, he had 2 goaltenders. But anyway, he was that dad that was like, he did everything. I mean, all the sports, Boy Scouts. he was there all the time, and he was a cop. So I imagine that made everybody feel a little bit better. Now the guy to the right, that old man to the right, I have no idea who that is. And
he also jumps out at me because of that pillbox hat he's wearing.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm going to the baseball field. I need a hat. Just give me any hat.
Do we have a hat? Something I can put on my head? Well,
I mean,
your
like
grandpa was a train conductor.
And this is the best little league in my town, in my really section of the St. Louis Metro. And you look at those uniforms. First of all, they're you have to give them back at the end of the season.
Right.
They say Colts on the front. They have a number on the back. There's no name on them.
No.
There's nothing on the hat. There's literally nothing on the hat. It is light blue, and that's it. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Those pants are just white. There's
by the
no
way,
stripes.
Are you hip thrusting in this photo? You look like you got a little bit of a hip thrust going there.
It
Just a
looks like your
little bit of a
mom tucked
foreign
the
tail.
shirt in.
Yeah, oh, she probably totally did. Yeah, the shirt's way too big. I mean, they don't fit. You think like now the uniforms that kids have are nicer than any uniform I played in American Legion ball in high school. Way better than our high school teams uniforms, but better than American Legion ball where you had, several different changes. That was it, though. That was it. There was no white alternative uniform. That was your uniform.
That's a good-looking glove you got there. You can tell that's been oiled up properly. I mean, you took care of that glove. I know
still
that
have
thing
it.
Flaps. Yeah, I'm
Still
not
have it.
surprised. That's a good-looking glove. Also, surprised, no sponsors on this. I mean, we were like the Bad News Bears. We didn't have Chico's bail bonds, but we had car dealerships and
Honestly, I think there was a sponsor on the back of these jerseys, but I don't have a picture of the back. And it's crazy because right now you could ask me for a picture of Eddie playing, youth baseball, and I could come up with 150 pictures on my phone right now.
right now. Yep.
These,
You had to wait 2 months for these.
I had to dig through the bins in my basement. These might be, I think I can think of two others in existence of me at this age playing, and I couldn't find those, but that's it. That's all we've got. I mean, my parents didn't bring a camera to the
Also,
field.
why the guy bottom right? Why is his hat say 86? And the guy on the left also not in a uniform hat here. He's
there's
also
three
going
guys.
rogue.
Three guys without regulation hats. One of whom is, like I said, is Mark Zioric, and his dad is one of the coaches. So I don't know what his excuse is. I don't remember the kid in the middle. I really don't. I don't remember a bunch of these kids. Which is rare. I usually remember them all.
Before we get to the reason for this, show me some Andrew Downs family here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, here's
wow.
this must have been early 90s, 91, 92. My two older brothers there in the middle on the same team. I'm the Cub over there on the left. My younger brother is a Giant over there on the right. And then my dad, with the 80s sunglasses. I think he was president of the Urbandale Little League at this time, which is why we kind of did this.
He's got the navy blue hat on, or black hat, navy or royal blue shirt. Those two don't go at all.
No.
Are
Urbandale
those
with the
transitions lenses?
Look
He's
at the
got
size of the
Probably so.
U on his T-shirt.
Yeah.
There's no
I need to
way to
bring that
miss
back.
that U.
The
Now,
transitions lenses were tough, man. And there was always like a kid in grade school that got those.
Yeah.
And then he got picked on relentlessly.
The Royals uniforms here are pretty sharp.
Yeah, these were good uniforms, but like Andy said, I had these were given back. There were no names. It was just numbers. They were used again next year. My little brother just had a T-shirt, so they must have run out of uniforms at that age.
He's in that lower league where you one day hope and dream to wear these Royals type uniforms. All right, so Andy, here's what they're doing with Little League pictures in some places now.
Oh God.
Wait till you see this. All right.
Oh, whoops. Stand by. Hold on. I got to find this. Hold on.
This is
okay. There's a reason. Yeah, of course it's
this
been
is the
taken
reason
up a
for
notch.
this. Oh.
Yeah.
One, probably 100. So everything is so different.
But do you have the photos around? Like you said, you have all these photos of Eddie. They're not all displayed. They're not.
No, they're all
easily
on my
accessible.
phone, and I
Do you buy all the class pictures too?
Oh, did we buy like his official team photos? I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know where they are. And it doesn't really matter either because you've got better pictures of him out on the field with, he's playing or he's with his friends out there and they're candid. And I don't know. I mean, it was like picture day. That was the only day that there were pictures taken. I don't ever remember my parents or anybody else's parents saying, "Hey, you guys get together over here by the backstop or by the dugout. I want to take your picture." I don't remember that happening once.
Remember the joke at the end of Say Anything?
Here, guys. I'm sorry.
At the end of Say Anything, there's the joke where they cut over to all the parents in the crowd and they're all running cameras.
They're
like
just,
that. That's everywhere
Parenthood.
now. Now they're not the same size cameras, but it's everywhere now. All right, AD, you want to just move to the Guest House Tavern?
Sorry about that.
No worries. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more. Coming up, Hali-Heartbreak. As we said, he has torn his Achilles. Rhule for real and lit and legit. That is all coming up here today. Guest House Tavern, Northwest inspired, Midwestern hospitality. Now high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
A lot of people with questions and worries about their money right now. And if you're one of those people, you can get some immediate answers and help by just making one phone call up to Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. And Tim Hawkins and company can set you on the right path or just sit there and answer your questions. You don't have to become a client of theirs. They're there to answer those questions for you. I'll go high here. I had a great weekend. I don't want it to end. I don't want to go back to work at this point. I don't. I want another weekend. I had a great weekend with friends. We had a good gathering at our house on Friday. It was hot as hell.
Was it too hot to be outside?
It really was. I mean, people didn't start showing up until like 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I was fine. And they were showing up later than that. I didn't blame them because they knew it was a deck party. And the deck was just facing west, just cooking. Fortunately, here in this part of West Des Moines, we have plenty of big mature trees that gave you some shade, but it didn't matter because the humidity was high. Right. And it was just still so stinking hot. The
wood caught on fire.
Oh my God. Everybody's standing out there and your beer was just drinking itself. And it was rough. It was rough. So finally we were just like, all right, forget it. Everybody come inside. And we went down to our basement bar and it was nice and cool down there and it was better. And then on Saturday, we all just, the neighborhood just kind of chilled out. One of our neighbors, my neighbor Steve, I think you met Steve on Friday over at Westtown Tap. He's got a pool, so everybody's nice to Steve and Sally. They're easy to be nice to. We'd be nice to them anyway. But they've got a pool and they're really generous. They're empty nesters now, and so when you've got this is kind of one of the things that is a pleasant revelation as you get older. I think you might think, okay, it's a burden to on somebody else to use their pool, or you go use their pool, go use their stuff. And that maybe you're asking too much of them or you're costing them money or whatever. It's actually the opposite. I think if you have something like a pool, especially in Iowa where you can't use it year round, you only have a limited season.
That's the big concern. Will I use this enough?
Yeah, you paid all that damn money to fill it up. Chemicals, you've worked hard, keeping it clean, all that. You want people to use it.
Right.
And when you're empty nesters, all of a sudden it becomes fun again. I think I'm not at that position, but I can see through their perspective. It's fun again to see kids back at your place again, using the stuff that you got for your kids. And now they've, basically outgrown.
Absolutely. Unless you were people who just didn't like kids around. Which and your friends are not those people.
The Renfuses are not like that at all. They're really generous. And so we were all just hanging out at the pool, drinking beers, just floating around, staying cool. And it was just great. So Friday and Saturday were awesome. And then Sunday I got, more work done. I just had a really good weekend.
That's good. Because you were on a run of lows. We needed
I was on a run. Yeah.
For it to be Monday.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Stole my credit card, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'm going high too. For those who have followed us a long time, Biff Hammer got married this weekend. First of all, Jenny and I saw the limo in the parking lot that was intended for the bridal party and just jumped in and went for a joyride.
Oh man, I was going to stay. I thought you maybe had rented that for yourself.
No, but they were fun about. They were like, sure, we'll take you around. So we did that, and we sent them photos.
Jenny wearing a hoop skirt there?
No, it's some kind of breeze or something.
The wind,
I don't know. It's possible she has a fan working inside her dress. It was that damn hot. And then inside, Biff and Prescia got married, and it was fun. It was a good time, and everybody was happy. So that's good. That's a happy event.
He'll be able to wear that vest again at Christmas.
Biff looked like he couldn't wait to get out of that tuxedo. You know somebody you could tell doesn't wear suits normally or tuxedos. Yeah. He's like, man, God, I can't wait to get out of this. It was nice and cool where we were outside.
Yeah, it's nice. He took off his sunglasses. You rarely see Biff Hammer without sunglasses on.
He actually has eyes. All right, let's get the buzz here on a Monday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Props to all those at Logier Heating and Cooling. I know they had themselves a week, and they probably have one ahead.
Yeah, my house is nice and cool right now. I almost feel bad that it's I've been turning it up. It seems like it's more efficient than ever. I've actually turned the temperature up a couple of degrees because I was like, man, it's too cool in here.
We have noticed because, we put in the windows upstairs last year, but
Big
not
difference?
since it was hot, and we can tell a significant difference.
Good.
Which is good because windows are so expensive. And no one comes over and says, oh, God, man, these windows you put in.
Unless they have put windows in themselves. And suddenly you become a connoisseur of windows. Yeah. You realize how damn expensive those things are and how painful it was for that person to buck up and pay for those when they know they're probably not going to get that money back when they sell it.
Oh, yeah. You put in a spa or a pool or a deck or a bar and people come in and they're like, oh, wow, this is great. But the windows, which cost more than all of that.
Oh, what are those? The argon gas, triple pane, double hungs there? What is that, vinyl? Or these, is that aluminum clad? Yeah.
The Oklahoma City Thunder win their first championship. First for OKC. Technically, the franchise won one in Seattle as the Supersonics. So the Thunder, a worthy team to win the title. They won a bunch of regular season games. They were the favorite. Andy, we're actually both 2 for 2 in on our show picking against the field. Thunder, the field. We picked the Thunder, and Panthers are the field. At some point, we picked the Panthers. So the favorites ended up winning in both cases. But this series was much better than most expected. For instance, Jay-Z bet $1 million. This would be the Thunder in 5. But it goes the full 7 after the Pacers win that game 1. But I think especially here in Iowa, where we have a former Cyclone as the star of the Pacers, this is kind of known as the Haliburton Heartbreak game. Because Game 7, it's in OKC. Oklahoma City is a heavy favorite, and for Indiana to have a shot of winning this Game 7 on the road, Haliburton is going to have to be his playoff heroic self. And he comes out and hits 3 threes in a row, and first quarter's not even over, and he has 9 points, and it looks possible that the Pacers might be able to do this because he looks like himself.
He's shooting out the lights. You can tell that the crowd is starting to be like, oh man.
Yeah, they're getting nervous.
Because I mean, we've seen it so many times. The NBA, you just run into a guy that has the hot hand that game, and that hand doesn't cool off unless something happens.
And then the air gets taken out of the championship game when Haliburton goes down. This had been the big worry. He even expressed the worry. A reporter asked him last week, like, playing with a calf strain, are there any concerns? He's like, yeah, there are concerns. Kevin Durant, 2019, played with a calf strain, tore his Achilles in the NBA Finals. So he was aware of the risks, but he put his team first. He played anyway. I know Kendrick Perkins on ESPN was saying, do not play. You are risking a torn Achilles. But he did play. I think he would do the same thing if he had to do it over. But sure enough, in that same spot where you could see he strained the calf muscle, he went down in a heap, and right away, the look on his face, the pounding of the court, he knew, we knew, and then the replay showed, which has now been medically confirmed, he tore his Achilles, and he could miss all of next season.
So did Kendrick Perkins say that before Game 6 or Game 7?
I think it was before Game 6. I think it was when it was first said that he had a calf strain because the big risk is a torn Achilles, which is just a horrible basketball injury.
While I still disagree, I can see his point. Game 6, where maybe you rest, your team finds a way, and then you make it to Game 7, and then you come back and play. But if he says that before Game 7, or if he says it before Game 6 and is saying, sit out the rest of the season, I just totally disagree with that. There's absolutely no guarantee that you will ever get back to the finals again, let alone this deep into the finals.
Right.
You have to do all in your power to stay out there and keep playing and will yourself to, push through and just hope that something doesn't go wrong like this. You can't play. You certainly cannot play professional sports thinking, assuming, or playing like you're going to have another chance at something like this.
You're right. And look at the respect level amongst his teammates. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander rushed over to him to check Tyrese. I mean, he's already an extremely likable person, but just to see him taking this risk, having worst fears realized. But before it happened, before the first quarter was even over, he had 3 threes. And he still finished the game with more threes than anybody else in the game. I mean, he was hot. And then we see him after the game when we know that Achilles is torn, and he's just out in the hallway, on his crutches, congratulating or telling his teammates good effort. And here we see him leaving, and man, that's kind of a sad shot to see. Just feel bad for him. He'll be back. And, he'll have a good attitude about it. But, boy, that was just a gut punch. Here's the head coach, the oldest head coach in an NBA Finals, Rick Carlisle, on Tyrese Haliburton.
He authored one of the great individual playoff runs in the history of the NBA with dramatic play after dramatic play. It was just something that no one's ever seen, and did it as one of 17. That's the beautiful thing about him. As great a player as he is, it's always a team thing, and so our hearts go out to him.
Yeah, Andy, Tyrese Haliburton hit a game-winning shot in the final 5 seconds, or game-tying shot in the final 5 seconds of all 4 series the Pacers played in regulation or overtime. I mean, it's incredible. It's like a Captain Clutch run we've never seen. Now, he had some off games too, but in the biggest moments, he was just great.
There were just so many games too. I mean, you're going to have some off games, but I mean, he came alive here. He still has some room to continue to go up as a star in the NBA, but hasn't hit the ceiling yet. But man, I mean, he turned himself into a household name during these playoffs, at least among people that follow the NBA.
Here is teammate TJ McConnell on Haliburton.
To go down like that and be selfless and just continuing to cheer for us, and even though he can't play, I think that just speaks volumes to who Tyrese Haliburton is. One of the greatest human beings I've come in contact with, great teammate. Obviously hurting for him, but that's just who he is.
Yeah, high praise there from McConnell. Siakam also said after the game that he had lost his fire and passion for playing basketball and Tyrese is the guy that helped him get it back. What a compliment.
Yeah, I can't imagine being on a team with somebody playing like that and not feeling completely inspired.
Yeah, it does have some Magic Johnson qualities to it, where you could see Magic just kind of got Kareem out of being Mr. Grumpy all the time.
Yeah. He turned him into like made him young again, or made him start acting young, maybe for the first time. Yeah, absolutely.
Here is the MVP of both the regular season and the finals, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on Tyrese.
You just hate to see it in sports in general, but in this moment, like, my heart dropped for him. Like, I couldn't imagine playing the biggest game of my life and something like that happening. It's so unfortunate. It's not fair. But competition isn't fair sometimes. But yeah, I just felt so bad for him. And just asked if he was okay. Obviously he wasn't, but prayers go out to him for sure. Hell of a player. Future's bright. That team's gonna be really good for a long time.
AD, did AKC Marketing make the championship hats? Are those rope hats?
They are. They're dope. I love them.
Jeez. Nope to the rope. Let's get a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Cyclone fans, which pro injury gutted you more? Was it Haliburton's Achilles or Purdy's elbow?
Yeah, that's right.
Purdy finished the game without being able to throw a pass.
In what, the NFC Championship game?
Man, they're making them tough up there.
They didn't have anything else they could do with that. That was just a crazy scene, right? Oh my God,
it really was
nuts.
Gosh,
he was the third
high stakes
stringer.
games. I know. I think. I think it's Haliburton just because
it's one
of how
game.
well he was playing, and they had a shot to win that game. I still think the Thunder would have ended up winning, but you just don't know, and now you never know, especially if you're a Pacers fan. You don't know when you'll get back. And now, instead of thinking you'll be back next year, you don't have your star player, at least for a long time. I know they're speeding up these Achilles heel recoveries, but it's still a long process.
The NFL is so big, and the Super Bowl is such a huge stage, and all of the momentum. We remember this momentum because we have this recency bias of everything Tyrese Haliburton has done in the last couple of months. But you remember what it was like when Mr. Irrelevant was leading the 49ers to the Super Bowl. It was incredible. So, like, for me, putting myself in those shoes of a Cyclone fan, to have a starting quarterback from Iowa State in the Super Bowl, leading this team the way that he was, and to have that kind of taken away from you as a fan, I think that probably guts you a little bit more just because of the stage.
Well, but you eventually got it with him.
Yeah.
You know, you got to the Super Bowl with him. So
That's true.
That happens later, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they do get there, and, you know, you still had one more. They still had to win that game and then get to the Super Bowl and win the game. And this is game 7 of the NBA Finals. He's off to a really good start in that game too. So they've already proven that they can win in Oklahoma City. So I think it's Haliburton here. But, you know, it's funny. This is one of those things in sports that every diehard fan has kind of in their mental locker. I would say every fan, probably just about every fan, you have some memory of some key player on your team getting injured in the playoffs, right before the playoffs, something that hamstrung your team that in your mind is absolutely the reason that your team lost that championship or wasn't able to win a championship that year. And Indiana fans will hold on to this forever. They will never, ever forget this. They will never let it go. They will never get past it. They'll never get over it. This will be the reason that they don't have a championship until they have one. And even then they'll look back and say, well, we should have 2, but Haliburton got injured.
We still hear about Niang and Stanzi.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a professional team, but you know, there's something. And the funny thing is that you remember that like it was yesterday. No one else does. Certainly the fans of the other team don't even take it into account. I mean, just off the top of my head, I can imagine that Cincinnati Bengals fans say if Tim Krumrie hadn't just grotesquely broken his leg in the 89 Super Bowl, or the 89 Super Bowl, they would have beaten the Montana and the 49ers, and they would have a Super Bowl championship. But that happened. 1985, I can remember being in junior high school, and the Cardinals are loaded. They have everything. You know, they're so good. They have the fastest team in the history of baseball, and they've got Vince Coleman, who's this incredible leadoff hitter and steals well over 100 bases. He's amazing. I think it's game one of the I think it's is it the World Series or is it the NLCS? It's early. It's in the playoffs, but the old Busch Stadium has this automatic tarp that raises up out of the field and rolls out during for rain, or at the end of games where they would cover the field, protect the dirt areas. And Vince Coleman's out there dicking around, I don't know, playing catch or something in the infield, and he's not paying attention to this automatic tarp. And likewise, whoever's running the damn tarp is not paying attention to him. Well, the tarp runs over his leg. He doesn't see it coming. It runs over Vince Coleman's leg, injures him so bad that he's out of the playoffs. He misses it. This comes down to a game 7. I believe this is 85 and not 87. I think it's 85. He's out. It comes down to a game 7 with the Royals, the Don Denkinger call, all those little things. In every Cardinal fan's mind, there is no way. There he is. There is no way that the Cardinals don't win the World Series that year if Vince Coleman doesn't get run over by the automatic tarp. So everybody's got some reference like this, with their team, where they're just certain that that's the one, even though it's impossible to tell if it actually is. You don't know what would have happened. But in their mind, they will never let that go.
Ricky Stanzi.
The Pacers. Yeah, Ricky Stanzi, George Niang, the Pacers now with Tyrese Haliburton. This thought occurred to me today when I was reading that Luka Garza is going to be at the Foundry tonight doing a meet and greet here locally. And I thought to myself about this as a poll, but there's no way to do a poll because it'll go Cyhawk as most polls that mention Iowa or Iowa State in the same poll do. But right now at Iowa State or Iowa, would you rather have the 2-time National Player of the Year who stayed for 4 years, consensus National Player of the Year his senior year, or would you rather have the guy who stayed 2 years, was not even first team All Big 12, but is now a big NBA star and a household name, versus Garza, who is on an NBA roster and doing well and playing hard and still very much on the minds of people in the state of Iowa because he keeps coming back and all of that. But like, which of those does more for your school? The National Player of the Year, the guy who stays 4 years, or the guy who stays 2 years, is not an All-American, but now is known to anybody who watches sports in America?
It's a really good question. It's a really good sports talk debate, right? I mean, there's no right answer. There's a lot of context there, a lot of nuance there. You have, Hawkeye fans when he was in college got so much more mileage out of Luka Garza than Cyclone fans did Tyrese Haliburton. But Haliburton is such a good guy and, recognizes Iowa State, comes back to Iowa State, proudly tells everybody he went to Iowa State, that you are getting more from him than I think most schools get from a guy that leaves that early.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the recency bias is impossible to discount. I mean, who's more here and now? It's Haliburton, and it's not close.
Right. And they both have been really good to their schools. They're both likable, but
Really
it is
likable
it is
guys.
an interesting question because one had such a more significant college career, but the other is having a more significant NBA career. Thunder, we're kind of overlooking probably more than we should, but hey, we're in Des Moines. This is a seventh different champion in 7 years for the NBA. So there is definitely parity in the NBA. It is the NBA's youngest team. In fact, last night, it was, if you watched the post game at all, there was an entertaining moment where all the young players are standing around. They don't know how to open a bottle of champagne. So they had to ask Alex Caruso, like, how do you do this?
It was really kind of a muted celebration totally for the team. I mean, I think at the end of the game was kind of a foregone conclusion. So there wasn't like a crazy mob scene on the floor. And then the locker room wasn't nuts because they're all too young. It's felt
foregone since the start of the series, but it really didn't feel that way in the first quarter. But then when Haliburton went down, even though credit to the Pacers, they scrapped, they hung in there, but you just felt it was inevitable. And of course it was. SGA joins Michael Jordan, Shaq, and Kareem as scoring champs, who also won the MVP and the Finals MVP in the same season. Really good company for him.
Good company there. Yeah, he's a great player. And this is good for the NBA. This franchise is beloved in that town. It's the state's only real professional team. Oklahoma is a place that kind of a much maligned state, but they show up for their sports teams and they love this team. I mean, it has been really since day one, this place is basically full or completely full. They kind of do a good job of showing other NBA cities what can be. Mm-hmm. This isn't some, and they worked for it too. I mean, they didn't just, it wasn't like the, Las Vegas Golden Knights that, the hockey just moved to town and they immediately go to the Stanley Cup final. I mean, they had to wait a while and they had to earn it.
Yeah, 2008, if you can believe that. Kevin Durant traded to the Rockets. It is Durant's fifth team. He's a 15-time All-Star, 4-time Olympic gold medalist. Thunder, Warriors, Nets, Suns, and now he'll go to the Rockets, where because of the Haliburton injury, the Rockets are now the second betting favorite on next year's championship behind the NBA's youngest team, the Thunder. Thunder also
you always wonder about
picks.
Guys that good that travel that much, right? That move teams that much. Doesn't that say something?
It does. Yeah.
Seems like it.
I mean, if LeBron has done that, he's moved around a lot.
He's always in charge of that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant is not so
That's
much.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Durant has.
I mean, he's controlled some of those.
He controlled the move to the Warriors.
To the
after
Nets.
They beat the Thunder in the Western
he did
Conference
confirm
Finals.
that he approved this, or that like he told them certain teams he would go to, but Suns fans wanted him out of there. They think they have to.
It's wild. Westbrook, Harden, and Durant, who were all part of that Oklahoma City team that you feel like should have been better than they ultimately were.
Yeah, they had all of those guys and didn't win the title.
And they will all have played for the Rockets once KD actually suits up.
Puzzle pieces. Interact on YouTube, on X. It's Murph_Andy. The email is Murph_Andy@iowaeverywhere.com. It is all powered by the Cellular Advantage, proudly representing U.S. Cellular since 1993 with 35 regional locations. Some more hot topics on a Monday. Caitlyn Clark is in a serious shooting slump. She is 1 for 17 the past 2 games from 3. Both are losses. So the Fever's slumping too. They need her to make shots to open that floor up more. She still had 11 assists in the loss to the Aces. But 16 straight now for Las Vegas over Indiana. After she came back and had that crazy 9 points in 38 seconds and it all looked so effortless and easy, just thought that she was going to get on a run here, but she's in a slump.
Yeah, and that happens though. I mean, I think the most alarming stat that you pointed out yesterday when you were doing these highlights is that both of these teams are under 500. They're both 6 and 7.
Yep, they're both under 500. Yeah, and the Aces had lost like 2 or 3 in a row going into this game.
That seems like arguably the 2 best players in the league, or certainly 2 of the best players in the league, and their teams are under 500. I mean, it's 13 games in, but you forget that the WNBA season is what, 40 games?
They've added more games this year. I think
45
it's 42
games?
or 44
42?
this year. They have added.
So it's not that early in the season.
Here is Clark on losing 2 straight.
Easy points for them. I don't know how many points they had at the free throw line tonight, but I think they had 18 off of our turnovers, and that mostly falls on me. That falls on me as our point guard. I think I have to really get us into stuff, especially in the fourth quarter. We didn't do a good job of taking care of the ball. I didn't. So I think just starts with me and just getting better in that. And I feel like we're really close to being really good, and I think that's what's kind of been frustrating about these few losses.
That is Caitlyn Clark. Andy, want to show you a photo and just to have you, for the people watching on whatever platform you are, I hope you can see this photo. If not, maybe you've seen it somewhere else. It's Nebraska's Matt Rhule. Do you think he's serious here or joking?
It's tough to say.
Describe
not knowing
it for those who are
anything
just
about
listening.
the concept. Well, Matt Rhule is what, 5'6", 5'7"?
Yeah, maybe. He's got his foot up on a bump box that's wrapped in Nebraska.
Looks like Biff Hammer's wedding picture.
It does look like a Biff Hammer wedding picture. He's
the one we should see, yes.
He's got the black Nebraska kind of fake jersey, shorts. He's got a gold chain. He's wearing that on the outside like he would be if he were 25 years younger than he is.
Yep, he's in front of a steer or a cow.
Of a great big bull, yeah.
Oh, that's a bull.
That's
now
like
I'm
a big
seeing that it's a
Brahma
bull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can see that set there. He's trying to look like a badass. He's got, I don't know, Matt. It's
Do you think he's serious?
I don't think he is. I think he's playing.
He's got a wink in his eye. Okay,
you just can't see the wink.
Because this feels a little bit to me like when Brian Kelly was dancing with recruits.
Yeah,
Remember
or
that
just
cringy video.
Yeah, I do. I think he's trying. I think somebody said, "Hey, Matt, let's take a fun picture here." I mean, is this an ad for this bump box?
I don't know.
An ad for.
We use a bump box like that for our patio tour.
Yeah.
But
it works great.
Don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's for. I don't know if he's serious. Can you try to imagine Kirk Ferentz or Matt Campbell like this? The only time they've come somewhat close. Remember Kirk Ferentz, although he didn't look particularly happy about it. Just suddenly he rises up out of the bottom of the screen. He's sitting on a hawk's nest. Remember that? One of those Big Ten commercials. And then Campbell one time was like flipping over tires and khakis.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it tires?
Yeah, khakis on.
Giant tires, yeah.
Listen, look at Garen. That's a throwback to every senior kid in the 90s getting their picture in front of their car. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
In front of like with their dog or with their gun or with their motorcycle or God knows what else they would have those pictures taken with. And you're like, okay, I know where you came from.
Now there's
there
good
you go.
pull, AD. There's Kirk Ferentz in the hawk's nest. Now, what do you think they have him sitting on, the floor or just a green chair? He has no idea what this was going to become.
Kind of stool. Yeah, he wasn't happy about it, and he had a right not to be.
Here's Simon Pegg imitating all 4 Beatles.
Do you have a party trick?
This is quite difficult. It's about how the Beatles live in your mouth in different places. So John lives at the back, Paul lives at the top, Ringo lives at the front, and George lives... No, hang on. It was in terms of doing Beatles impressions. So when you want to do John, you talk like this, it's sort of up there. But when you do Paul, it's up there like that, it's sort of much more. And then when you do George, it's sort of over here. And Ringo's right at the front like that, you see. So that was my 4 Beatles in your mouth trick, which I will occasionally do.
Where the
Pretty good
Beatles
trick.
live in your mouth.
Mouth, I think.
In your mouth? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what you. Yeah.
I thought it was mouth.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was math.
Iowa Fireworks Farm. Let's get this going. $100 gift card to the Iowa Fireworks Farm, which hopefully during this heat wave is still there and has not exploded. You put hashtag Iowa Fireworks Farm in the comments of whatever platform you're watching or listening. And at the end of the show, AD will pick a winner along with our F1 giveaway. In the meantime, Andy, let's play a game of firework reel or not. I have not missed yet.
We give away a $100 gift card.
Yep.
And those are real. This is our first winner. This is Big Papa going down there to cash that in. You can tell he really is a Papa. There's his kid.
And he is big.
Yeah, big dude.
Oh,
Look
that's
at
a good
that.
nickname.
Look at that rocket. That kid cannot wait to
boy.
light that sucker.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's making him wait. Are you making him wait until the 4th to light that off? I mean, you're supposed to.
And he's
But it
holding
would
a
be
box
hard.
that's called Road Rage.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Wade has sent some other pictures of people just like bringing a giant trailer and just filling the thing with
Loading up.
fireworks. Okay, here we go. So you tell me, Murph, I'm going to give you 2 names. You tell me which is real and which is not. Okay?
Yep.
Which really exists and which I just made up. Okay?
Yes.
Honky lighters or white trash candy.
Oh my God.
Honky lighters or white trash candy.
I think honky lighters is fake and white trash candy is a real firework.
That's
Other
a dud.
way around.
That's a dud, Murph. You're wrong.
Oh, honky lighters is real?
They got them right there at the fireworks farm. Wade sent me this picture and everything. You can get yourself
And Kid
some,
Rock endorses them?
apparently, or Joe Dirt. Yeah, get you some honky lighters down there.
Honky lighters.
Is that just? We would call these punks as Missouri kids, where you light the end of that and then they would burn for like an hour, and you could light all your fireworks with those. But that sounded not a sparkler.
No.
Well, maybe it does look like a sparkler too. I wonder what that is exactly. Somebody pick up some honky lighters, take a video, tell us what they do. Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah, there is no white trash candy, although there should be.
Jeez. Honky light. Both of those sound like names that would not be commercially sold.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
but honky lighters.
Yeah, you'll see some stuff down there at the
White
fireworks
trash
farm.
candy is an idea somebody will take. All right, let's get some more.
Okay. Horny toads or the angry beaver. Which is real? Which did I just make up?
Horny toads or the angry beaver?
Yeah.
The angry beaver is real.
There you go. All right, we can in good conscience give away one of these $100 gift cards.
I'm glad to do it. We'll do it at the end of the show.
I think that's Wade's thumb right there. You can get yourself an angry beaver. Look at that. That beaver is angry. I don't know.
No one wants an angry beaver.
I don't know there's only one way to find out what these exactly do. You just light that wick and step aside, man.
Get out of the way. All right, let's get some more and more.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either Or Eatery and Patio, they may have a big week indoors this week. We've got a kind of a strange forecast, at least for the end of June. There is significant rain chances every day from now until through Thursday. Friday things get better, and then Saturday's supposed to be nice. But we have significant chances for not just rain, but actually some pretty heavy storms. What Jason was saying last night is we might see 3 inches of rain by the end of all of this toward the end of the week.
We needed clear for the patio tour Friday. Big Grove, final one. We need to go big or go home. Go big, Grove, or go home.
We're going really big at Big Grove,
Yeah,
and most
do
of
it.
that is covered. So even if it does kind of rain, it's supposed to be really warm every day anyway. So
It's a
it'll
nice
still
place.
be really pleasant. And it's a great big covered patio. It's going to be fun. Birdland Pool this has made so many headlines this year. It is now full of water. They've got it filled up. The chemicals are working. The filtration system is on. It gets tested tomorrow, and if it passes the test, I guess it could open next week. It still has some more settling where they've got to get everything just right before they open. But if it doesn't pass, it'll get pushed back later into July. From Good Morning America, I thought this was interesting this morning. Kid rotting is a
Kid
trendy
rotting?
Kid rotting is a trendy term for what summer break used to look like for children, just lounging, daydreaming, not having a lot to do. Now, while many parents today rush to sign their kids up for summer camps and programs, guilty.
Yep. Guilty.
Many experts suggest giving them more unstructured time may actually be better. Instead of making them lazy, free time can lead to boredom, which is a good thing. Leads to creativity, independence, imagination taking over.
In an ideal setting, yes.
You mean if they have no screens?
A bunch of watching screens.
Yeah, if they have no screens, maybe. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Boredom does make you creative.
It does.
There's no doubt. I mean, it's like necessity on your brain. It's like, I got to do something. So you come up with something. In Massachusetts, a blue and gold macaw, which is a really big, fancy parrot. A blue and gold macaw named Hendrix is up for adoption. He's at a kind of an animal rescue center. He is 30 years old. He is strikingly beautiful. But he also has a very foul mouth. He berates everyone who enters the room with F-bombs. This is Hendrix right here. You can see that his past owner was giving him, he was eating like cereal and stuff. He was malnourished. So a lot of his feathers and his chest have fallen out. But those are coming back. He's getting better, but his mouth is not. Here is what he sounds like when he's being mouthy.
It's the way he pauses and leans into it, like put some stink on it.
Some of these,
he even like goes back with his head and then leans into it like Hassel in the Stivers Ford ad.
Yeah,
when he's going for
some of these parrots. Yeah, they really get into it, really insulting their owner. One of them's calling his owner a fat bastard and stuff. Oh, and it's so clear, too. Talking with Entertainment Weekly, Jerry Bruckheimer has confirmed that a sequel is indeed in development for Days of Thunder.
Wow, I'm in.
Tom Cruise will be making his return in the film. Not clear, however, how far along into the development process the movie is and when it might be ready for fans to see.
Get the guy from Marshalltown that's directed Maverick and made that better than Top Gun.
Joseph
Krasinski, I think.
Krasinski, yeah, that sounds right.
And he does F1. I mean, he's the director of that. But yeah, this is Chris Williams, our leader at Iowa Everywhere, all-time favorite movie.
Is this all-time favorite movie worthy? Days of Thunder? No.
Hey, we're talking about Chris Williams.
Yeah.
First of all, he's seen like 7 movies.
Right.
And 5 of them are about auto racing. His runner-up was Kenny Rogers and Six Pack.
In slightly more alarming news, a repeat offender who calls himself Master Bader has again been arrested for indecent exposure, this time inside a grocery store in Seattle, Washington. Described as a prolific public masturbator by prosecutors, Keenan Pearson, age 46, was collared earlier this month after being observed by witnesses doing his thing in public near a group of unaware people. And again, he was in the grocery store. Fortunately, he was in the dry goods section and nowhere near the produce.
Which didn't stay dry.
I think, yeah. I think if he's in the produce section, I think you got to throw the produce out, right?
I think you got to throw the dry goods out.
Maybe you can... I don't know.
That's not mayo.
Jesus. Jeez. OnlyFans star Sophie Rain says she's already made $23 million this year. She is believed to be the platform's biggest earner of 2025 with over 246,000 monthly searches. Sophie Rain is way too young. I can't even look at her.
Does she do like a show on car repairs or what's her niche?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
Per capita, by the way, Iowa is ranked 5th in what its residents spend on OnlyFans each month.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the bottom of that list is the SEC. Like the bottom of every other list, somehow they're still the bottom of that list, that non-flattering list. It's Alabama and Louisiana and Arkansas and Mississippi. And finally, from the depths of Instagram, I've seen this a million times, and I just want to say, please, please tell me that this actually happened, and tell me who I can talk to get the whole story. Haven't you seen this before?
No.
Oh my, Andrew, have you seen this before?
I have, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's incredible.
It's so funny. So what would you call that? Like, it's like an inflatable.
It's like a blob.
Somebody
it's like
goes
a blob
off.
launch.
Somebody's sitting on one end of it. This woman's sitting on one end. Two guys jump off a platform onto the other end, which shoots this woman into the air. Look how high she goes.
I've seen this, not this particular one. I've seen people do this, and it does launch people. I've never seen anything resembling this height. And I thought as this was playing out, she was going to go right down the middle of one of those tubes.
Like total backflop. Two people come down.
Wow.
Shoots her way up in the air. Look at how high up is that? 40, 50 feet?
It's got to be 50 feet. A basketball goal's 10 feet. Look at the people standing on the dock who are 6 feet tall.
It's way higher than the platform that they jumped off of to launch her into the air. And then just a full-on backflop. Look at this.
Boom.
Oh,
Cannonball.
that hurts so bad when you're just going off a diving board and you land on your back like that, just your bare skin just slapping the top of the water.
Ooh.
This woman did that from 50 feet in the air. I have so many questions. Please, somebody let me know that you know something about this, and that it's, first of all, that it's real. But then I want to hear from this woman. Was this what she was expecting?
There's no way it was.
That's your more, everybody.
If you knew you were going, and I'm sure she thought, am I going to overshoot the entire pond or lake, whatever you want to call that? Oh my goodness. All right, it is time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family in Ankeny, Knoxville, Boone, Waukee, and Creston, an authorized dealer of Bridgestone and Firestone tires. Andy, the NBA and NHL seasons are now over. Now we look ahead to like the MLB All-Star Game, Wimbledon, the British Open, maybe even football all the way at the end of August. What's the next sporting event that you are looking forward to?
Well, I mean, I am enjoying myself watching Caitlyn Clark. The Cardinals are above 500, so they're giving me like just those regular season games are more interesting than the MLB All-Star Game to me, or Wimbledon, or the British Open. Right now, I mean, this is a tough time of the year, and I'm glad that we have a reason to pay attention to the WNBA.
I will pay attention to everything you mentioned that Andy did to some extent, but like looking forward to, like really anticipating, it's Iowa State and Kansas State in Dublin, because for one thing, it's the first college football game, but the other is it's actually a game with meaning to it. You know, it's not that it doesn't have that preseason college football game feel to it. It's like you get 3 weeks into August and hey, this is a big game for both programs. So that's the next big thing I'm looking forward to, but I'll pay attention to quite a bit of that.
I kind of forgot the WNBA All-Star Game is in Indiana, and
right. Caitlyn
Clark had said when she declined the NBA's offer to do the 3-point competition that she's saving it for that. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's something as well. Murph, Keegan Bradley won yesterday's Travelers Championship with 2 birdies over the final 4 holes, but Tommy Fleetwood choked the lead away with a 3-putt on 18 after an up and down round. In a situation like this, Murph, generally, do you feel more bad for the loser or more good for the winner?
More bad for the loser. It's so hard to watch somebody choke. I mean, or whatever. If that sounds too harsh.
No, that's a choke.
When the pressure gets to you, and you can't do something you normally do routinely, you are choking. I mean, the pressure is getting to you, and that can happen at the free throw line. It can happen with a putt. It can happen with a field goal. We know this, but yeah, I do. I feel more bad than I feel good for the winner.
Yeah, and I especially feel that way when it's golf, because it's probably ending on the putting green, which is not only, supposed to be kind of the easiest part. It's where the fans are the closest, and they're all stacked up on those risers. So they're just breathing down your neck, and then you just flub one shot after another. I can't even imagine what that would feel like for that poor guy.
I thought Rory did this in the Masters. I thought that was going to be the story, that he just choked that lead.
All right, Andy, we rearranged some furniture at our house this weekend. Do you like to rearrange the layout of your rooms, or once you have something set, do you just stick with it?
It's funny. I used to like to do that because it would feel like it would give you an all new room. But now I feel like, I mean, you should do that probably so you could clean underneath them and all that. But to me, it just makes my back hurt just looking at it.
Once I have it comfortable, I don't want it changed, but I am well aware that I will come home periodically to some changes.
Yeah, that's throwdowns.
I didn't do it.
I'm gonna say I would leave it the same forever, but my wife likes to change things up, and I appreciate it once it's done.
I don't want to out any person as making the changes here, so let's just go to our Grimaldi's fan photo and see if we have a hint. Yep, we do. Grimaldi's at Sips and Songs Friday night. We were at a birthday party where they went through 40 boxes of Grimaldi's pizza. And it didn't even cool off that much over time because it was so dang hot there. Grimaldi's a coal brick oven pizzeria in West Des Moines and District at Prairie Trail. Send your fan photos in, and like that, it can be of anything. In that case, it was Jenny grabbing a slice of pizza, but you send in a photo, and each Friday we pick a gift card winner to Grimaldi's. Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared.
That's right. It's powered Game Day Men's Health. I go to the one in Ankeny. Andy goes to West Des Moines. You can go to North Liberty if you're on the eastern side of the state. Anywhere you are, there's a game day near you. They'll give you a free consultation, let you know what you need, what you don't need, and help you become your best self. I always love Sound Off on Sunday nights on WHO TV with you guys. I always love What's Bugging Andy. Sometimes it's poignant, thought-provoking, but my favorite ones are like the one last night where Andy finds some little thing about society or culture and just kind of hammers it and goes with it and takes it to the nth degree. And that's what Andy did last night when talking about the Indiana Fever broadcast, the local broadcast from Indiana that are then played here in Des Moines.
Commercials and the little geographical references may be second nature to the people in Indiana, but to us here in Iowa, it sounds totally Chinese. Tonight's Fresh Take is brought to you by Needler's Fresh Market. Try the new location in downtown New Palestine. It's a local broadcast. It's not supposed to be more than that. For every ad for Ford or Nike, there's an ad for the Codfather Fish and Chips. 5 locations. You can go anywhere in Beech Grove, Warren, Claremont, or Carmel, and you won't find better hush puppies. Or how about Indiana Bones and the Temple of Groom? People in Indiana know exactly what those places are, but the Iowans in the audience feel like we are listening to a dented pipe organ. Now, that happens to us too, of course. I mean, we know when friends and relatives come to Iowa, they think Made Right sounds like a cleaning service. They have no idea what Hy-Vee sells, and when they lay their eyes on Come and Go, they absolutely lose their Shih Tzu. Geography adds another layer, a totally foreign feel to the whole thing. Now, someone says Appanoose County, and we're like, yeah, darn right. Now, that is a good name for a county. But you watch one of these Fever games, and they say, we'd like to welcome the first responders from Owen County to tonight's game. We're like, Owen County? What kind of stupid name is that? As I said, I am happy to have the ability to watch the broadcast, but man, I got to keep getting used to the sound. I'm Andy Fales, and that's what's bugging me.
Yeah, it's really good. I particularly like Indiana
Bones and the Temple of Groom.
Temple of Groom. That is awesome. That's so good.
Doesn't that feel weird though when you're watching that here? Because
yeah.
they don't really change it up. They don't, they'll take that broadcast and insert a bunch of Iowa ads there. They keep they'll be like the Indiana Pipe Fitters Union and stuff.
Yeah.
Just over and over again, which there sounds second nature, but here you're like, what?
I appreciate WI having them on, and I'm sure
I do too.
I'm sure that's a win for the local station here. But yeah, it is. You're exactly right. It's jarring, and sometimes they're like holding a 13 mic flag.
Yeah, which is they have a 13 in Indianapolis.
Right. So that further confuses people as that goes on. All right, Quickie Poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Cyclone fans, which pro injury gutted you more? 66% say it was Tyrese Haliburton's Achilles injury last night. 35% say it was Brock Purdy's elbow in the NFC Championship game. What was that, 3 years ago?
Yeah, and that, boy, there is some recency bias here, but it's also so much more personal when you can see Tyrese's face. Mm-hmm. He's pounding the floor in pain. He doesn't have a helmet on. I mean, it all played out so dramatically. It was the story of the game last night, without a doubt. And that's with the Thunder winning the NBA title. That's a subject that got the most talk, was when he went down. Iowa Fireworks Farm generator, $100. Do I have that right? $100?
Yeah, $100. Yeah,
$100 gift card to one of our viewers/listeners. Who's getting the goods?
Max Peterson.
Max about to max out on fireworks, man. He's going to go down there and try to stop at like $100. Good luck to you, Max. You're going to max out. The F1 email winner today is who, AD?
Aaron Puderbaugh. He
Who?
and his wife, I think that's how you say it.
Is that the Polk County Puderbaugh?
Yeah,
I think it's Puderbaugh. Is it Puderbaugh? It's not
Puder.
Puderbaugh.
Puder.
Puderbaugh.
P-A-U-G-H.
Okay. Putterbar? Putterbar.
He'll let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
I'll find out
We wanna
Wednesday
say it
when
right.
I'm watching a movie with him. He and his wife are celebrating their 20th anniversary on Wednesday, and they can't think of a better way to do it than to hang out with us at the Palms, watch
Sitting
F1,
by you.
right?
Sitting by you. Andy is not going to be there. As you know, AD, I don't know if we've talked about this publicly. We probably should.
Probably have.
Andy's not allowed in the Palms for 1 year. He was caught sneaking candy in there.
That's not true.
Which part's
they love
not
it
true?
when I come there. That I'm not not allowed in the Palms.
Yeah, the
I've
sneaking
not
candy
been
part's
banned.
true.
I've sneaked candy into the Palms.
Okay, just to be clear of that. All right, very good. All right, well, thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on Iowa Everywhere. You're supporting local media, and we appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Invite your friends to the party. Speaking of a party, Friday, Big Grove. You might want to get there a little bit on the early side. We'll be live at 1 p.m. Final patio tour stop of 8. And it should be a big, good time, and the weather's supposed to clear up and be nice again. I think we're going 8 for 8 on good weather. We're back Wednesday, and we hope you are too.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.